All right, Spanish learners, let's talk. You know that feeling, right? You finally got a grammar rule down, you're feeling good, and then you meet the exceptions. Well, today we are going head-to-head with 7 of the most notorious rule breakers in the entire language, the irregular verbs of the present subjunctive. But trust me, by the time we're done, these rebels are going to feel a whole lot less intimidating. It is such a classic moment in language learning. You've memorized the pattern, you're building sentences, and then, out of nowhere, a verb just completely ignores the rules. It can be super frustrating. But what if we started thinking of these verbs less like problems and more like a special group with their own secret handshake? Well, today, we're going to learn that handshake. We're cracking the code. So, just as a quick little warm-up, what exactly is the subjunctive? The key thing to remember is that it's not a tense, it's a mood. Think of it as the language of everything that isn't a hard fact. We're talking about wishes, doubts, emotions, recommendations, all that good stuff. If you want to sound truly natural and expressive in Spanish, you have to get this down. And that's why these 7 verbs are absolutely essential. Okay, let's meet this special group. Yeah, we're calling them rule breakers, but honestly, it's probably better to think of them as the VIPs of the subjunctive club. They don't have to wait in line with the regular verbs. They have their own special entrance, and we just need to know their names to get on the list. And here's our mission for today, nice and simple. We are focusing on just 7. That's it. These are the ones you'll see and hear constantly. They are, without a doubt, the most useful irregulars, and getting them under your belt is going to give you a massive confidence boost in your speaking. So, you ready to meet them? All right, it's time to meet the crew. Now, instead of just throwing all 7 at you at once, which can be kind of overwhelming, we're going to break them down into a few smaller, way more manageable groups. It'll be a lot easier to remember them this way. First up, we've got the heavy hitters, what I like to call the essential trio, ser, ir, and dar. Look at their yo forms here, sea, vaya, de. Totally unique, right? Take that first example, espero que ella sea feliz. You're not stating a fact, you're expressing a hope. I hope she is happy. It's that feeling that triggers the subjunctive. Or quiero que vayas, I want you to go. It's a desire, not a done deal. Next on our list is the to-be duo, estar and haber. We use estar for temporary states or locations, like in me alegra que estés aquí. I'm glad you are here. See that emotion? Again, I'm glad. And then there's haber, which often acts like there is or there are. Ojalá que haya suficiente comida. I hope there is enough food. It's all about that uncertainty. And to round out our course 7, we have the knowledge pair, saber and ver. When you want to express the importance of knowing something, you'll use sepa. For example, es importante que sepamos los detalles. It's crucial that we know them. And for ver, to see, you'll use vea. Quiero que veas esta película. I want you to see this movie. You're expressing your desire. Okay, so you've met the whole gang. Now you could just sit down with a bunch of flashcards and try to memorize every single conjugation through brute force. Or we could look for the hidden patterns that make this whole thing so much easier. This is where we learn the real shortcut. And here it is. This is the big aha moment. For a lot of these verbs, the secret is to stop thinking about the original verb and instead memorize a brand new stem. Look at ser. Its new stem is si. For ir, it's vaya. Once you lock in this new stem, you just tack on the regular subjunctive endings you already know. It turns a huge memorization task into a simple 2-step process. This is a game changer. And hey, let's talk pronunciation for a sec, because those little accent marks are doing some heavy lifting here. For dar, the yo form is de. An at accent is there to make sure you say de and not de, and also to tell it apart from de, the word for of or from. With estar, those accents on este, estés, and so on are crucial for putting the stress on the right syllable. It's a tiny detail that makes a huge difference in sounding rate. All right, enough talk. Theory is great, but putting it into practice is where it all starts to click. So let's do a little quick-fire round to see how this is settling in. I'll give you a sentence with a blank. You fill it in. Ready? Let's go. Okay, first one up. Es necesario que nosotros al banco. So, it's necessary that we to the bank. The verb is ir. So, what's that special new stem for ir? And what's the ending for nosotros? Take a second. And the answer is vayamos. The stem is vaya, and the nosotros ending is amos.
Vayamos. Es necesario que nosotros vayamos al banco. Awesome. Let's do another one.
Okay, next challenge. Me alegra que tú estar aquí. I'm glad that you here. The verb is estar. Think about that to form. And remember that little detail we just talked about. Don't forget the accent. Yes, you got it. The answer is estés. Perfect. See? It's not so bad, right? Once you know their special forms, these rebels actually start to follow a pattern. You're definitely getting the hang of this. So you're feeling good, but what's next? How do you make sure all this information actually sticks and doesn't just disappear by tomorrow? Well, let's lay out a simple, clear path to really lock this in and make it a permanent part of your Spanish brain. Here's your 4-step plan. It's super straightforward. First, just focus your energy on memorizing these core 7. That's it. Second, practice using them with trigger phrases like espero que or no creo que. This builds the muscle memory. Third, try to make up just 1 or 2 sentences a day using these verbs. And finally, listen for them. Put on some Spanish music, watch a show, and just try to catch them being used by native speakers. That's what really makes it all click. So, to wrap this all up, let's put it to use immediately. I want you to think, what is the first thing you hope for right now? Maybe it's espero que sea un buen día. I hope it's a good day. Or maybe espero que haya café. I hope there's coffee. The more you use them, the more these so-called rebel verbs start to feel less like rule breakers and a lot more like old friends.